Okay, Frank, you remember the rules? That's right. Once we get set up, you can walk around the con. Don't speak. Don't pick anybody up. Don't eat any junk food. I'm not having you get sick in here again. All right? No. Here's my booth. Here's Mike.
Hey, Frank.
Me and Mike are out front, 2 hours in. There's a rare appearance of Cougar. Yes, Frank, I know that's your book. It's your money if it sells. Hello again. I did the Buffalo PowerCon with Mike this weekend on Sunday. It was a one-day show. I had a really good time there. I met a lot of really good collectors. Cougar stopped out from Cougarcomics, and he hung out with me and Mike for a couple hours. It was great hearing some old stories about some attic finds, and you always have these near misses where you bought a book, you didn't buy a book, where you actually had the book in your hand, and then for whatever reason you didn't buy it. And he had those stories too. So it's funny how we all seem to have very similar stories. Obviously different books, different circumstances, but very similar in detail, it almost seems, when you hear someone telling a story, because he told a few and changed a few of the details, and it could have been my story. So it was kind of cool. Jim stopped out again, the guy that gave me the Deathlock print, and he brought another friend with him, and they had done some shopping. So it was cool to just meet people that watch the channel, and we had a lot of fun that way. Mike and Cougar really hit it off. They shared a lot of con stories and a lot of buying older book stories. So it was a great time. They had us situated so when you came in the door, right next to where you paid for your ticket, me and Mike were along that wall. And I'll put some pictures of what our stands look like, and there's some video in there as well. But the main comic room was full of other people, so at first I was like, I don't know if this is going to work, or is anyone even going to see us? But what seemed to happen is people would come up, look through my and Mike's boxes, look at our walls, and I think they kind of take a mental inventory, because hardly anyone bought their first way through. They'd go in the main, the big dealer room, and they'd be in there a half hour to an hour, and then on their way out they would stop at me and Mike's table, and we both did pretty good. It's the most sales I've ever made at a show, so it's also the biggest show I ever set up at. So that was really encouraging. I do think though that when you go to the larger shows like a Baltimore or Heroes Con, that there are a lot more, I guess what you'd call heavy hitter buyers in the room. A lot of these guys just had their little paper notes with them that had their list hole fillers, and I had a couple boxes of Captain America with $1, $2, and $3 books in it, and I sold probably half of each one of those boxes. So there was a lot of that going on. But I met collectors probably that were from like 20 to 70 something. So it's a unique cross section of the hobby, and you see what they're collecting. And what I noticed is it didn't matter how old somebody was. Some of the older guys are collecting like bleeding edge stuff. Like a couple of guys stopped and asked me if I had Immortal Hulk, and they were in their 60s. And then a guy that was 22 came up and he wanted to know if I had any pre-code horror. So it just you never know what's going to happen. So anyway, I did pick up one book. I treated myself to one book, and I got Kid Code Outlaw number 59. And if you've never seen this cover, it is just a gem. Look at the red background with the yellow logo, and then the all blue tone. It just makes the artwork pop. I think it's awesome. So I've been looking for this book in a decent grade, acceptable grade, for probably 4 or 5 years now, and I finally got it. So it's awesome. But that's my shopping experience, and the con went great. I'll probably do another one. I don't know if I'm going to set up at any small shows. I think since the effort will be the same, I may as well just do a bigger show. And I'll continue to distill down my collection as it goes. I'd say I probably sold close to 2 short boxes yesterday, so it's dwindling down. We'll see how it goes. There is a few sidewalk sales coming up, and we might set up at those, but we'll see how it goes. So till next time, love what you have, not what you want. See y'all.